Nobody starts at the finish line. You have to start somewhere. In order for you to get to where you're going, to meet that destination, you can't think that you're going to get there instantly.
Welcome to another episode of the Mr. Mindful Minute podcast, where we touch on different things, on different areas of life, on how we could go from a nothing place to a something place. And today we are continuously talking about health and fitness. And we have a good brother over here that's actually about to give us some gems on doing calisthenic workouts. So just tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks for having me. My name is Mark Moser. I'm a fitness professional. So I do fitness coaching and accountability coaching. I also have a fitness YouTube channel. It's under my name, Mark Moser. If you're looking for me under Facebook, it's also Mark Moser. On Instagram, you can find me. My name is actually Master _ Mister _ MM. You'll see lots of different like motivational fitness posts over there.
Okay. All right, so let me ask you this question real quick. What actually got you started in doing fitness?
Um, I've always been like off and on really into it. I mean, I really fell in love with the gym like ninth grade, playing like high school football team and going into like the weight room. But there's always different things like to make you like stop and start. Last year I turned 40 in October, and I was like, I really needed to make a commitment to myself. So in 2020, I made a commitment to myself that I wasn't going to stop working out like ever again.
Oh, okay, nice. So this has been actually uh, a little while. You actually been doing health and fitness, but it was actually 2020 that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna keep on pumping this. I'm gonna keep on doing it, and I'm gonna be regularly actually doing
Yeah,
this. So,
absolutely. I mean, it's just it's the idea that not getting any younger. You know what I mean? But I want to live my best life for as long as I possibly can.
right.
And so fitness, health, exercise. In my belief, movement is medicine. So, like that's going to be my uh fountain of youth, I guess. You know what I'm saying? That's
Okay.
my version.
I like that. Movement is medicine. And a lot of times we get caught up with, especially with the COVID, and we be stuck in the house and stuff like that, and we become inactive. And so with our inactivity, it creates weight, right? And then as you're even saying, it's it's no medicine for us. So when we actually shift into that and start saying movement is our medicine, that actually is a motivation for us. I like that, man. I like that. So,
Oh, thank you.
what is the difference for yourself on doing weight training and focusing more so on calisthenics or body training?
I mean, they both have their benefits. I mean, the like weight training is just like, I guess now is just more accepted, and it's like what most people think of. Like when they think about gains or whatever, it's easier to progress. Just add like a little bit of weight on each time, and I'm saying, and you can. It's easier to measure that you've gotten stronger. With calisthenics, the benefits are you can do it anywhere. So I mean, I can drop down and do push-ups as long as there's a floor. Or
Right.
even on my bed. You know what I mean? But I may not have access to a bench press.
Okay. So, all right. Why do you think people should center a little more of their attention to like body training solely?
So I mean, there's a lot of purists that are purely calisthenics. I mean, that's all they do. I'm not in the belief like that. I think that everything has its benefits, and you can do it all. I've probably only been to the gym maybe about 4 or 5 times since COVID hit. Um, so, but when I feel like things are like fully safe and open back up, I'm definitely going to go back to the gym. But
So,
I really like calisthenics because I mean you can do more different things. Like your body becomes your resistance and your weight. So like you can start off with push-ups. Even if you can't do regular push-ups, you can do them modified like on your knees. And you can also like make them harder by doing like elevated, have your feet elevated and do on like an incline, going to pike push-ups and then
Right.
Handstand push-ups. I mean, there's always different ways that you can increase the difficulty.
So have you found that, a person that is deciding to, okay, like you said, I don't have access to the gym, but I do have a floor right here. Um, if I'm gonna just do the exercising on my own body weight, is that actually a benefit to maybe my joints or my bones?
Well, yes. I mean, like, because the stress, like your body's made to lift and carry yourself, so it's different. So like me, I'm about 165, between 165 and 170, right? But if I go on the bench press and I'm benching like 250, that's not what my body is really like designed or made to handle. I can build myself up to that point, but especially like being older and like jumping into it, what I'm saying, you may not want to like increase the weight that much, but you can always like add extra reps, and which increases like your endurance, which also helps like your cardiovascular health too.
Okay. So if we focus on making sure we can, as you said, like I want to be able to make sure I can at least lift my own body weight.
Mm-hmm.
So what is some tips that you would actually give somebody on how they can actually start getting a little stronger with being able to do stuff with their own body weight?
I mean, just start off with the basics. So, obviously like push-ups. I mean, there's lots, like most core exercises tend to be like body weight exercises, and like your core is really like for anything, even if you're doing like weight training, you have to have a really strong core if you're going to be deadlifting like heavy weights, or you're going to be squatting heavy weights. But as far as body weight training, just like body weight squats, push-ups. If you have access to a pull-up bar, do pull-ups. I mean, you can find a pull-up bar even in any playground if they have like a monkey bars or something like that. So you have access to it. You don't necessarily have to have equipment at your house to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've just noticed that sometimes, people will feel as though, oh man, you know what? It's easier for me to just grab these 20-pound dumbbells and I could do a little isolation work on the arms. But like for myself, I've just seen the difference from me shifting from doing more weight training to me actually doing my own body weight, because your weight fluctuates. So if I gain a little weight, I'm actually going to get a little stronger from being able to push more. And if I lose weight, I'm actually going to be able to burn more because now I can do more. So is there some benefit to looking at that in more of a positive light? Because sometimes we just shy away from doing the calisthenic works because, as you said, more people is talking about the gains and stuff like that. But at least when we look at our body weight, we can actually have a positive view on
it. So I'll say like one of the biggest positives is like the range of motion and being able to like control it a little bit easier, so you'll see like a lot of people, even they'll do push-ups and they may not do like full range of motion. So like, I've seen people bang out like sets of like 100, and it's like, all right, that's really great, but you didn't really do anything. You could have done 30 full range push-ups and you would have received like a better overall benefit from it. Not everybody's always like is ready to receive that information, but I mean, it's just the facts. I mean, it helps your joints, your tendons, and your ligaments to build up easier too, because like your muscles build up a lot faster than your like your joints and your tendons. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to ease into it and build up and build a strong foundation.
Okay. All right. So now you said earlier that movement is medicine. What does that actually mean to you?
I mean, it's just like, so like if you have a car, right, and you buy a brand new car off the lot, and you decide I'm just not going to drive it, right, I mean, you haven't, there's no necessary like wear and tear on the car because you haven't done anything to it. But, you know, everything ends up, you know, rusting, things get stuck. You know, it's just like if you, you know, the old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, you know? So like you have to constantly be moving and, you know, like think about, like children, like babies, right? If you look at their movement patterns, right, they're like the most natural like movement patterns. And as we get older, we kind of train and program ourselves to do limited movement patterns, you know. And that's why, you know, like babies will fall and they get hurt for a second, but then they're back up and they're doing their thing. Whereas, you know, if you or I were to like just fall, just trip and fall, you know, we have a greater possibility of injuring ourselves just because, you know, we're just stiffer.
Mm. Now, see, I never actually thought about it from that aspect where by my being more mobile is actually going to make me be able to resist injury more. I never thought about it like that. I just looked at it like, oh, as you said, we get a little older, man. I got to make sure I don't trip or fall. I don't want to bang my knee, But what you're saying is, as we're getting older, we actually should make sure we're being more mobile so we can actually continue to lubricate the joints because that's a good illustration with the car. If a car is just sitting and it got a full tank of gas in it, if you don't never drive that car, the gas tank is going to start to rust.
Mm-hmm.
And so the same thing you're saying with ourselves, if we don't continue to make some type of movement and actions with our physical daily activities, it's almost like we're rusting, so to say. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like most people now, have like desk jobs, so we sit down hours and hours and hours and hours, and especially like right now during the pandemic, you have so many people who would normally be, they would go to some location and work, and maybe they could move around, but now they're in front of a screen for 5 to 8 hours a day or more, and they're just sitting down. It puts stress on your spine, on your hips and everything. It's just you got to get up, and even just in your day to day, just get up to do some stretching, move around just to loosen up and not, and just to decompress.
Okay, so I can kind of relate to that because I have a messed up spine, and I just noticed I make sure my standing versus sitting ratio is kind of balanced out. If I'm sitting down all day, I'll make sure, what, I'm gonna just stand for the next 45 minutes, or I'm gonna walk around. So, what you're helping us to be mindful of is be intentional about our mobility. So, all right, we
Absolutely.
in the house, the pandemic is going on, we stuck in the house. All right, we need to let me be intentional. I'm gonna go walk around the house for a little bit. I'm gonna go walk around the room a little bit. I'm gonna go and do something physically active because I just wasn't doing nothing for the last 4 hours, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now I just want to touch on something that you mentioned. You talked about ligaments in our joints. What does being mobile actually do for our ligaments and joints on why we should be actually exercising?
Like I said, it's just allowing them to be in use, so that they don't stiffen up, and that you can continue to have the greatest range of motion as possible. It sometimes, some people feel pain or discomfort if they like lift their arm up too high. Like we don't want that. Like especially like it's cold now. At least on the East Coast, I'm in Maryland. People like you hear like older people, like, they'll complain about their knees, and they can feel it in the weather.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so you want to be able to continue to move, and you want to be able to increase your range of motion as much as possible.
Okay. Now, I had surgery on my shoulder, and that's something that they said, you'll get your strength, but you want to make sure you continue to get your range of motion. And so they didn't even have me do physical training. They had me doing a lot of stretching because they like, well, your ligaments, you actually working out ain't going to help your ligaments. Stretching them is going to actually make your ligaments stronger. So
Mhm.
as far as perspective goes with stretching, what is your views on telling people on why they should stretch more? Because a lot of times we'll work out, but we don't stretch.
Mhm.
So why do you think that people should make sure that they even stretch it more, or their workout should be stretching?
Like I said, it's just, you want to be able to, to move and to do things, it just makes things easier. So I mean, like stretching and also like warming up properly, so that's a big thing that a lot of people don't do. I know I've been guilty of that, thousands of times, just going in and just starting to work out, I mean, like using like not starting out like with like my max weight, but just getting your, just getting a warm up, do some jump rope, riding a bike or something like that, just to get the blood flowing.
Mm-hmm.
And and just like, and just having your body warm, so that you're able to do those movements. We get the blood goes through everything, and it just makes you move more efficiently and effectively.
All right. So what you're saying is, if I'm about to start working out, I need to make sure I'm doing some, at least some low impact stuff for a little bit,
Mhm.
just so my blood can actually start pumping a little faster. And the faster my blood is pumping, it's gonna help me to actually be able to do the exercises easier. Is that what you're saying?
Um, Not necessarily that's going to help you do it easier, but it will increase your performance overall. So like some people think that there's like a waste of energy. Like if I do this, that's going to take away, from my energy to do this. But no, it's like it's the preparation.
Uh,
It preps your body, and so like, and it helps you avoid injury. And injury is like, because if you think about it like that, if if I injure myself and I can't work out for a month to 6 months, or even more, that's going to cost me a lot, health wise, muscle wise, strength wise. Whereas opposed to if I work out for, if I do a quick warm up, maybe 3 to 5 rounds of a minute jumping rope, or I get on the, if I'm at the gym, I'll use the bike, and I'll do like 10 to 15 minutes on the bike, not really fast or anything like that, but just a steady pace. um just get my heart rate up a little bit, and just make sure that, like I said, all my joints are lubricated.
okay, so the warm up actually, as you said, it prepares our body for what we're actually about to start doing, instead of us just kind of jumping in the water, so to say, oh
Yeah,
man, go test the water out, just jump right in. No, you don't need to do that first. You need to go run the shower on you for a little bit, go get warmed up, and then go ahead and get in the pool.
yeah, exactly. It only works in the pool. You gotta ease your way into the shower, whether it's whether you like it hot or cold. You got you gotta ease your way into it.
Right. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this question. What would be, if I'm deciding I'm just now getting started, I haven't been active for a little while, I may even be a little bit older, but I want to start doing something. What would be something that you would actually give somebody advice on how they can get started?
I mean, so walking is great. I recommend everybody at any age should be walking. One, just getting outside, getting some sunshine too, and just making sure that you're moving. I mean, there's little like life hacks that you can do. It's like normally people go places and they want to park right like in front of the store. You can park at the end of the parking lot and just walk, and that's like a way that you can get some walking in a safe environment too, because they have cameras and security and lights or whatever.
Yeah.
If you go somewhere it's like 10 o'clock at night or whatever, go ahead, park close just for safety factors. But you
Right.
know,
Right. Word. I definitely feel you on that. All right. So, all right. I want to get myself started. Is there any type of mental shift that I need to make?
yeah. So consistency is greater than motivation, right? Like, or discipline is greater than motivation, because you won't always want to work out. You know what I mean? Like there's days, I'm saying, you've had a bad day, or you're just busy, and you can make up a million excuses of like why not to do it. But if you're like, I've made this commitment and I'm sticking to it, that helps. For people that's just like just beginning, I suggest, make a small commitment that you can keep and say, like, I'm gonna work out 1 to 2 days a week. And like and you don't necessarily have to say I'm gonna work out Monday and Thursday or something like that, but just say I'm gonna work out 1 to 2 days a week, no matter what. I got 7 days to work out. But I'm gonna, if I don't work out today, I'm gonna work out tomorrow. It was because like right now it's beginning of the year. A lot of people make resolutions. I'm gonna go to the gym. I don't know what it's like right now because lots of gyms have been closed due to the pandemic. But normally what happens is, and you'll see all types of memes like January 1st, gyms are full, completely packed, and then February 1st they're completely empty because everybody's giving up because and what happens, they say I'm gonna work out 4 to 7 days a week, and they start missing days and they feel bad about themselves, so they stop. So just make those small commitments. If you do more, that's great, and then and then you can build those commitments up and make it a routine.
Okay. All right. So you said, making sure that we being consistent and having that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
And so the commitment now is to ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because we'll sign, look, we make so many commitments to so many other things. We'll sign our life away. We about to get this car. We're going to sign our life away. We're about to get this house. We're going to sign our name on the dotted line. We'll make the commitment to make sure those payments are made. But what you're saying is we need to make that same type of commitment, sign a contract to ourselves and say, I'm going to make this commitment for me because I need this. And so when we and you kind of touched on it, take away the aspect of time and saying, oh, well, I need to make sure I do it Monday and Tuesday. No, just say I need to make sure I do this week. And if you're coming up and close to the end of the week and that joke ain't done, you need to slap yourself on the wrist.
Right. You know what I mean? And like, in the worst case scenario, there could be something that happens and you could have a major life event and you might not be able to get in that week. But like it's understandable that you had a legitimate reason for it. It's not just, oh, I was busy at work, and you're not letting the day-to-day, like regular everyday stuff bother you. You know what I mean? But like a life-saving event, I understand, but then you want to get back on your program. But people let those everyday things happen. It's like, oh, my favorite show came on today and I started like watching it and I fell asleep and I missed my workout. I was like, well, all right, so what are you gonna do? Now it's another day. Oh, well, something happened today, blah blah blah. I was like, no, okay, well, get back to it. Like that's the main thing is just get back to it. Don't ever feel bad because you missed it. Just get back to work.
Okay. So my day-to-day life shouldn't be a reason where I don't try to make sure I fulfill this commitment, but a life event happening is good reason to say, all right, I can't do it this week. This happened, but I'm gonna jump back onto it next week because again, this is a commitment that we're making to ourselves. And so many times we show up for everybody else. We be there for other people, and we be their biggest supporter sometimes. And I always say, well, are you supporting yourself that same exact way? And that's what you're saying, by us supporting ourselves and us being there for ourselves and making this commitment to ourselves, it is going to help us better our quality of life.
Absolutely. And one thing you just said, about like, we make commitments to other people and we support other people. Like find your support system. If you have, if you're older, you have a significant other, or work out with them. If you have kids, get them involved. Even I've met people or I've worked with and trained and coached people, and they're like, it's so hard. I have this this toddler running around. Well, put them on your back. Saying let them be your resistance. You know what I mean? And like they'll love it. Or give them something like a weight. They even have like toy looking weights or whatever. And you can give them that and make it fun, and they'll start to develop those habits. As they grow up from a very young age, and they'll have that ingrained in them forever. So
So not really making not looking to make no excuse for ourselves.
Oh
And
no, there's no excuses.
we have to find a reason to actually do it. And so, as you said, if somebody got kids, like sometimes we just got to say, look, I need an accountability partner. I need somebody
Yep.
else who's doing it. I got to look in my community. And look, if it don't matter if you may not have no family members, you may not have a spouse, you ain't had no kids, you don't have no look, we even gonna say if you don't got no friends, you can easily join a Facebook group or some type
Yep.
of group or something.
Yep.
Hey, people that's looking to work out. I'm working out at this time, looking for accountability. It's a way for us to actually get it done and for us to make it happen.
And so when we look at it from that standpoint, it's actually going to help us to be more consistent with ourselves. So, all right, now that we know that our mobility is our medicine, right? And it's the benefits to calisthenics, but it's also benefits to weight training and being consistent and having that accountability. What's a setback that you have noticed people may have, and how can they overcome that setback?
You mean like a setback in like general performance, or just like
Yeah,
not
in
doing
general
well?
performance. Yeah.
All right. So people are always going to experience plateaus, so like, if you just start training, like you're going to see tremendous growth early on. Like beginners will just like anything else, what I'm saying, you're going to level up faster, and just like in a video game, you'll level up faster from the beginning, but it gets more difficult, as you become more advanced. So just like set your goals or whatever, but sometimes people may be stuck like, oh, I've been stuck at doing 10 pull-ups for a couple months now or something like that. It's like, all right, well, at some point you may need to just like reprogram your training, and start to do something else, because your body gets accustomed to what you're doing. So if you just follow the same training program, eventually, your body's just going to get used to it. Like if you run a mile every day, at some point, like if you're trying to like lose weight, at some point you're going to stop losing weight, because your body has found like the efficient threshold of which it can move itself, that pace, that distance.
Okay.
So it's like it doesn't you don't necessarily need to lose any weight to do it.
Okay. So we got to be prepared for that plateau that may or may not happen if we continue to do the same thing, almost like routine over and over and over, and we don't vary it, we don't change it. We don't, all right, I'm going to work out for an hour, but in this hour, I might go hard for 10 minutes and then go slow for 10 minutes. I'm going to go hard, or, just finding some type of way to change it up, to have some type of variety in the things that we're doing. You're saying is actually going to help us to, if we get into the plateau, it's going to help us to get out of it, but it also will help us to avoid a plateau.
Yeah, I mean, so you can do, you can change the intensity of your workouts. You can change your rep ranges, or like increase the sets. I mean, there's lots of different things that you can do. I mean, you can even do, completely different movement patterns or different exercises, that still work the same muscles, but they might help in in a different way. So like more recently, I started using like gymnastics rings. So like dips on a gymnastic rings are a lot harder than they are on just like a bar, because now, like you're saying, because you're on like a string, so you have to provide a lot of the stability, so that's like working like all these like extra muscles or whatever, right? So like you get back on the bar, and all of a sudden it's a lot easier for you, because you don't have to, at that point now, you don't have to stabilize yourself, you just have to lift yourself up. Okay. So I mean, there's lots of different things that you can do.
So, all right, what is some of the differences that a person may see, because it be different for a male and then a female. Mm-hmm. So what's some advice that you would give to both of the opposite sex on how they can actually start viewing this and get some of the results that they're trying to get?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this because this is not a blanket statement, but males tend to focus more on upper body, females tend to focus on lower body. In my opinion, in my experience, you know, so that's not necessarily true for everybody, but you know, so for males, definitely like don't skip leg day, you know, because you don't want to be like imbalanced. And like for females, also like don't be afraid to lift heavy. A lot of times, females are afraid that they're gonna become like bulky or like look like a man, and you know the reality is that it's impossible for that to happen like on accident. You know, like the people that like body like super bodybuilders, you know what I'm saying, like they work for that. That's their goal. You know, they didn't all of a sudden just like, you know, hit the gym and kept adding more weight, and all of a sudden like they just, you know, they just blew up, you know. Like it just doesn't happen because they don't, you know, they don't produce testosterone in the same in the same way, you know. So you can definitely build muscle, but you're not gonna look like a different gender or anything just because
you're not gonna be masculine.
Yeah, you know.
All right. So let me ask you this. You know, people, somebody's out there looking for help. They looking for accountability. How can they find you to get your services so you can actually help them?
You can reach out to me on Facebook or Instagram easily. I mean, I get I mean, even on YouTube, people don't tend to do that as much. You just kind of get like some like blanket statement comments so more often, but you know, because it's in like the public field. But yeah, just shoot me a message and, you know, say, hey, I need help with this. You know, if you just ask for some advice, you know, I'm going to answer your question. If you know, want me to work with you and help you with programs, or, you know, say you want me as like an accountability coach and you want me following up with you, like, yo, did you do this? If you want to do Zoom workouts, I mean, we can do whatever you need.
All right. Listen, I just want to say thank you for actually joining me, shedding some light on some of the things that, you know, people may shy away from, and even giving some tips on how we can overcome some of these plateaus and things like that. And actually putting that out there to let us know that our mobility is our medicine. So I just want to say thank you for this opportunity. I truly appreciate it.
Hey, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I love the opportunity to be able to talk.
You're in control of how you feel. You're in control. You are the determining factor of your feelings. No one else can control how you feel. Remember, you're in control how you feel. So control your feelings.